Hello, this is Sabian McNasty, 1944, back again. So if you see my last video, the Vietnam video, I promised that next video would be about my World War II uniform, which unfortunately this one, unlike my Vietnam uniform over here, which is all made of originals except very few pieces, it is the exact opposite from my World War II position over here, which is mostly reproductions, excluding the helmet liner, and I believe that's the only part that's original, the helmet liner. But all this is historically accurate and is also really well made to look exactly like the products from the war. Let's go ahead and get started. So the biggest thing about paratroopers that stood out during World War II were the Corcoran jump boots. So these had higher ankle support due to paratroopers needing any type of ankle support jumping from planes and having the equivalent of jumping off a 3-story building upon landing. So it's a little hard to see, but inside of it, there's actually a little band too that also helps out with the impact. And then here is another iconic part of the paratrooper is the clicker. So what they would do in combat is if you heard this at the middle of the night, this was used mostly during D-Day. And then you heard in response, that means you found friendlies. All right. So the Corcoran jump boots were really sought after during World War II. A lot of infantrymen would try to trade up to these because they had a similar version but were cut down to about right here, and they'd have to use gaiters, which I do have a pair of but are unfortunately in my chest over there. Let's get into the next part. So the standard rifle. So this is not a airsoft gun or one that works. It is from a company called Denix, which makes very good molds of rifles, but it is really historically accurate. The actions work. The knobs unfortunately do not. But for only about 200 bucks it was worth. Not bad for a replica and one to take to events. Now is a trouser belt. There's nothing really special to this. This is also reproduction, but basically it holds those up, which I will be getting to soon. So let's get into the M3 trench knife. So a lot of things the paratroopers would do is they would take a little band off their bed cots and use it to tie it around their leg, which you can see in a lot of photos from World War II. And this is the in question M3 fighting knife. I can't remember where I got this off of, but it's a really good lookalike and it's really sturdy too. I have the green case for it too, but 9 out of 10 photos, I always see them with this leather one, but specifically the unit I've always seen them with the leather one on. Next is the bandolier. So it's got 6 casings of M1 Garand arrow, the ammos, but in reality it's just woodcut ammo, but it looks really good and you can barely tell from a distance. Anyways, let's get on to the most important part, the paratrooper helmet. So it comes with the Middle War helmet net, and the helmet liner, like I said, is actually original. The shell I took off of another helmet that was reproduction and made it historically accurate, adding the little corkscrews to make it a little harder to see in daytime. And I've also painted the battalion by hand like most soldiers did. I did somewhat use a stencil, but for the most part I did it all by hand to stay to historical accuracy. And here I also had my grandma, who, thank her so much, Bartek sewed the chin straps on to here too. But I do plan on sending this out soon to a buddy of mine soon, so he can convert it to a paratrooper edition one that supported a chin strap. Now the most important part of the uniform is the uniform itself, the M42 reinforced jumpsuit. So let's go ahead and get to the top part. So unlike my Vietnam uniform, this one actually has a lot of pocket litter. I'm still working on getting more, but for the most part, this has a lot of pocket litter. So I've got this compass that wasn't really time accurate, but I just used, got a officer's book, engineering tape, and a little tin can opener. I believe in this pocket I keep a Mark II hand grenade, which this one is inaccurate, but I painted it to look accurate and I keep it as pocket litter. And I believe, and then this is the main difference. So this is the Mark II hand grenade, but you can tell this one's post-war due to it and not having that same exact spring. I believe that would, hold on, I think I feel. Oh yes, and your jump wings that you would earn back in boot camp if once you've completed your parachuting. So I always keep that for garrison or just to show off. Next in here, I believe I just have a bunch of empty boxes, but stuff that they'd usually carry. So you've got your toothbrush, toothpaste, I believe, yes, a razor kit, matches, or actually no wait, these are, I think these are, hold on, I may be wrong, I think those are condoms. I think military issued condoms. Let's see, oh yes, gum, another pack, and just some trash. Anyways, in this pocket I just use a lot of stuff that I just need to carry, like the face paint. So I do the 101st Airborne 506th unit, Filthy 13, which they were a specialized demolitions unit, and instead of the traditional black and green and brown camo, they would do a stripe of white to represent their Choctaw Native American heritage. Not all of them, but one is specific, a guy named Jake McNasty, which I could maybe do another video about him, but there's plenty of other good options. And a pair of gloves I've bought before, but I just keep them in case it gets cold or something like that. They're not historically accurate, but off of Stand in the Door 1944, I do plan on buying a pair. Let's get on to some of, oh wait, the jump pants. There's nothing really too special about them. Unfortunately, these pockets I do have filled with just clothes as pocket litter, but it does have the ropes that a lot of paratroopers would tie to keep stuff in here more stable. And you can see the knee pads, just like this one with the elbows, are reinforced because these areas would tear the most during combat, so they did that just to give it another layer of protection. And as you can see on here, there's a green sleeve. This is a gas detector. So when they were landing on D-Day, they had suspicions that Germans would use gas against the Allies. So once this detected gas, it would start turning a bright red, and that's where it actually leads us to our next subject, the gas, the M7 gas mask, assault and gas mask bag. So unfortunately, I've always tried looking, but I can never find a American gas mask for sale. So I've just got a random gas mask from the Cold War in here, but but it does make it look good. As you can see, it looks slightly damaged because I wrinkled it up and everything to get it looking aged. Nothing too special about it. It's just got the OD7 green camo to it. And then right next to it, I have my folding shovel, which this is not accurate, but it does look really good whenever it's on my belt, which I will be getting to soon. And it gets the job done. Well, once I get it on there correctly. Now let's get to the most important part, the web gear. So here I've got a Musette bag, which I've got a mix of just pocket litter and clothes to keep it stuffed. And then let's get to the main equipment on my web gear. So I've got a big rigger pouch here along with the little medkit bag, the shovel carrier, a bayonet, a letdown rope, another smaller rigger pouch, canteen with a bottle in it, and 2 other rigger pouches here, along with a bandage here. So a lot of this gear I've actually gone from Stand in the Door 1944, and this is their actual med kit bag, which this isn't aged by me but aged by them, and it looks really good. The letdown rope was used just in case paratroopers got tangled inside of a tree or something and needed to get themselves down. The reason this looks so off color is because not this is reproduction, or I mean not that this is an original, but this is actually a reproduction that I tried spray painting to look accurate. So it looks like it's somewhat damaged, but that's just myself on accident. A bunch of these rigger pouches are just stuffed with clothes and everything to help it look full, except this one I actually keep another Mark II grenade I made out of hand, which this one is also a Mark I, but it also looks really good as pocket litter whenever it's hidden away. And then this is the Musette bag, which like I said, I don't have much in here. I believe I only have my mess kit and my garrison cap. So yes, there's my garrison cap, which I still need to sew a patch onto. and I believe my mess kit below this hoodie. There it is. Nothing really special about this. This is also reproduction, but it works like a real one. So you open it up and you can just slide it through. Hold on, let me... Now you're ready for lunch. Well, I'm not exactly the best video creator, but thank you for watching today's video on my 1944 or World War II impression. So if y'all like to look into the unit I do, they are called the Filthy 13. A lot of y'all might recognize them by look. They're one of the more popular photos of the paratroopers. But thank you again for watching the video. I will try getting better improvements over time, and signing out.